Hello, everyone. I am excited to come to you guys today. Obviously, a little nervous. I think anytime we have hard conversations, there can be some nerves there. And if you follow me through my podcast, Authentically Candid, you know that I don't shy away from hard conversations. And the reason for it is for many, many years, I found that I felt alone in many aspects, and direct sales actually has taught me so much. And throughout my going on almost 10 years in this channel, I have learned that if you don't talk about it with someone, you can feel very isolated. You can feel very isolated in what you're doing. And, most people join direct sales, network marketing, MLM, whatever you want to title it, for a variety of different reasons. Maybe they just want something to do. Maybe it's joining a community. Maybe it's building in an extra stream of income, whatever that might be. It's different for everyone. But over the last year, I have experienced a lot of changes in my life, and I didn't anticipate them. They were some of the hardest months that I have experienced, but I learned so much out of it. And so it's only right for me to go through reflection, right? We go through this period of reflection and what we want to stop doing, start doing, continue doing in the new year. And so this was just kind of heavy on my heart, and thought that I should come and talk specifically to this industry through this channel, because I have so many followers that are in this kind of business. And there's so many parallels to corporate America. And the first couple questions I want to ask you, and I got some notes so I don't steer off and talk too long, but are you finding joy in what you're doing? And I'm not talking about you've hit a slump, you're going through a 6-month period, you're going through a year period, just like natural business, right? We know that any kind of business does not go like this, right? It just doesn't. And direct sales is no different. Hello, welcome. And if you are in a long-term business, if you are looking at this long-term, not short-term gains, you've got to understand that a direct sales business is just like this, or it could be like that, right? It's going to have slumps in it. Every business has slumps. But my question to you is, are you finding joy in your everyday? I'm not talking every day. I'm not talking about the tasks that you have to do to complete or get your IPA done, things like that. But are you finding joy at the end of the day? Or do you find yourself night after night going, something is missing? Something is just not fulfilling me anymore. Or I don't feel like all of my talents, all of my strengths are being used like they used to. And I should back up and give you a little perspective on my background. I've been in the direct sales space for almost 10 years. I am in my third company. The first one was a pyramid scheme. True. It's shut down, class action suits, you name it. I had that experience. I was naive to all of it. I gave it my all. And instead of taking it as the worst experience ever, I took so many lessons out of it. And I took so many gains and things that I wanted to do. And I gained so much confidence along the way, even though entering my second business, it was my husband's nudge, not my own decision. He had enough belief in me that I could be successful at helping others, right? And anyways, fast forward, I had an incredible road, 7-year road with my second company. It was incredible. But I found that the last 3 years or so, my business started to go like this. Do any of you feel that? Are you experiencing it? It wasn't going back up. I waited it out. I kept doing the work. I kept doing the things I needed to do. I was doing outside training. I was asking for help. I was doing everything I could, but I felt like my wheels were just spinning. What once worked wasn't working. So I tried to go back to what worked in the very beginning, what made me so successful, and it didn't work. And so I started following different leaders in the same industry, direct sales industry, not my same company, but in other direct sales channels. And I was watching what was working for them. And then I tried to apply it to my business, and it didn't work. And I think that there comes a time with anybody in business where you really have to stop and reflect, and you have to ask yourself some serious questions. And for me, I'm going to share it all with you today, and I have a podcast on it, but there was two sides to my brain going. Most people quit before it gets better, right? Stick it out. Then there was another side to me, because I'm very heavily involved in personal development, that said, life is short. If something is not serving you anymore, something is not fulfilling you, whatever is going on inside is not in alignment anymore, you need to pivot. And I had this battle going back in my head and my heart. And probably because I have a huge heart, I went first to, oh my gosh, how is this affecting everybody else? Am I going to lose friends? What is this going to do to my business, my team members, my customers? What kind of decision? Oh, I can't. And so I ignored it and I suppressed it. And I became increasingly aware of my unhappiness. And I no longer could force myself through actions to find that joy, that spark, the original reason I started. And for me, it wasn't necessarily a community. I wanted to, and my big why is I want to be in a position in any given day to be able to pick up and be exactly where I need to be at any given moment. That is my why. And part of that is because I've had my own health challenges. I've been a caregiver. Of a family member. We've had tragedies, and and I've, had to pick up and move very quickly. And so my why is having the flexibility of a business like this. I am bought in 100%. I know what this kind of business can do. My family has been greatly impacted and blessed. And that's why I continue to be in this channel. However, there were thoughts before I left something I had built, something I had poured my heart into. There were questions that were going, oh, but I don't have the energy to rebuild. What if I'm not successful again? What if I lose my entire support system? What is my family going to think? Are they going to think I failed? What is my community? What is my hometown going to think? Are they going to think I failed because I walked away? But at the end of the day, I found myself, and I literally had to take the ego out and set it aside and remind myself why I'm so passionate about helping women not only feel confident, whether in their skin or with this incredible makeup that I'm in right now, or help them build confidence in a business like this and meet goals, whatever it is. There came a time where I realized that my lack of belief, whether it was in myself, whether it was in my ability to lead anymore, whether it was my ability to grow anymore, whatever it was, I was really aware that it was going to transfer on to my team. And I am a very protective leader. I knew that business was blessing so many families, and I could not let my decision affect or impact anyone else. And that was first and foremost. That was in my mind. But then I kept realizing that I was lying. I was lying to myself, and I was lying to my leaders and mentors and my team, because I wasn't honoring myself. And if you've ever worked with me in any capacity, I am a huge huge champion of believing in yourself and living the life that you want, not what society tells us to do, not even what, a situation could tell us to do, but to really follow your own dreams. And I was living a skeleton of myself, and I didn't recognize myself anymore. I didn't believe in myself, whereas I had done some really incredible things in my career. And it was after lots of conversations with lots of different people, including my husband, and he had to remind me, Brandy, I think that in this direct sales channel space, we put this idea that it's so different than corporate America. If you leave a business in the direct sales channel and move to something else, something's wrong with you. You're just jump, or whatever we put into our minds. But yet we have no sense of raising an eyebrow for anybody that goes, you know what? I'm in corporate America. This job is just not pursuing me in the path that I want. And so I'm going to pursue a different company. And we're like, good for you, right? But for some reason, that's such a different conversation in this space. And I want to change that today. You see, 5 months ago, I made the hardest decision of my life. One of them, I should say. And I walked away from a really successful business that I had built. I put my blood, sweat, and tears into it. And I had built so many incredible relationships, but I wasn't happy at the end of the day. And I knew that walking away from that kind of income was going to impact my family, obviously, because I was going to walk away and have nothing. But I wasn't helping myself, and I wasn't helping anyone around me because I couldn't figure out it anymore. And fast forward, I was scared to pivot. I pivoted, and I second-guessed myself for a while. And now 5 months along, I'm sitting here going, well, that wasn't too bad. I'm happier than I've been probably ever. I am. I honestly am. And I'm pursuing things a completely different way. I have lessons learned. I am willing to do things and not willing to do things. And I've gotten to start from experience, but from a clean slate with a really incredible company. And my message today is not to get you to join my company. I mean, it'd be cool if you did, but to let you know that there is a lot of incredible companies out there that are very different than what you might be doing. There's incredible systems in place, like truly systems in place to help you start and go, right? Like I never anticipated having the kind of growth I have now. And here's part of it. I have integrity. I've not reached out to one person in 5 months. Not one. I haven't had the conversations of join me or try my product. I show up daily and I demonstrate the product that I am happy about and excited about, but I'm not reaching out. And I've had just this release of stress off my shoulders. If you've ever been in a position where you feel, if you feel like, man, I feel like I've gotten to the point, maybe on my own accord, maybe my own fault, that I'm the resource for my team. They come to me for everything. While there are trainings, there are resources, they're dependent on me. And I'm the glue that's keeping that together. That is a whole lot of stress. That's a lot of pressure to put on someone's shoulders. And I found myself in that. And maybe it was self-induced. But to be in a position where I have a system in place, different resources in place, something different than I had experienced before, that no longer puts that on me, is an incredible feeling. It's an incredible feeling to know that there are other things out there that are good. And I think when we've been in companies and we're lifers, right? we tell ourselves this story that there's nothing else out there that's better than what we're doing. There's no other company out there. And to be honest, I was there, man. I will be the first one to admit that I believed that wholeheartedly. And I looked down and I just was like, they're making a huge mistake. What's going on? Until I made that decision. So I have some questions for you to ponder. Are you exhausted? And when I say exhausted, have you experienced burnout? And I'm not talking about burnout. Hello, I'm not talking about the burnout where you're racing. You might be achieving a new rank. You might be achieving a new promotion or a new income goal, whatever it might be. And you're running, you're going, right? And then you're 5 days towards the end of the month and you see that you're almost there, right? So you start rallying your team and you're running and you're racing. And then the next day after the month, the first day of the next month, you're exhausted. And then you turn around and do that over and over. And you feel like you're spinning your wheels and you're trying to convince people to see what you see and to be in on this team goal and rah. And you hit burnout. And then you might go a period of months trying to regain that energy, trying to regain that belief. You might put pressure on yourself as a leader going, oh my gosh, I'm exhausted, but I got to show up for my team. I've got to make sure that they keep believing that this is the best thing since sliced bread, right? Burnout doesn't exist in purpose. And when you can find a way to work smartly and hard, I'm not saying take your foot off and just be lackadaisical, but when you can find a way to work smarter and not have to burn out and not have to race and put pressure on other people to get you to where your goals are, right? Like, let's be real. It's a completely different experience. And I think I've had a shift in perspective because I was really sick a couple years ago. And I've had a lot of family members pass or friends pass and you name it. And life gets put into perspective that it's really freaking short. And there's no amount of money that I realized that is worth more than my own happiness. There are simpler ways to do things. And for me, I found that I believed in the product. Oh my gosh, yes. But products differ. And when you think you may not be successful at something else, I will say I was in skincare, right? And love skincare, still passionate about my skin. But I found that I didn't think that there was anything out there that I could promote. Gosh, if I went into makeup, what would people think? Would they use it? I've been promoting healthy skin. But what I have found is price point is a huge factor in purchasing. And with Gen Z and the way that things are shifting, I've done a lot of classes. I just got done with a huge mastery class. It's different. Price point is a big deal. Whether we want to acknowledge it or not, instant gratification is a big deal. And maybe that is part of the reason why I found a lot of success in these last 5 months is because I can demonstrate a product that gives visible results just like that. Instead of having to really try and work with people over and over. You got to stay consistent. And for me, that was tiring over time. So I'm rambling on. But I know that there are so many of you because I've had so many conversations and it breaks my heart. And the integrity side of me is I'm just going to keep my lips silent and I'm just going to let people work through their own journeys because that is a personal journey. It's a personal choice. It's all of those things. But on the other hand, I was the person behind the screen going, is there something else out there that I could do? What would it look like if I chose a different business? What if I took a gamble on myself again? If I've done it once, I can do it again. But what if I fail? if other people have made a pivot, have they lived? Do they got a pulse? Like, are they unhappy? Do they regret their decision? And I'm here to say that do your own research, okay? Don't make rash decisions. In fact, don't make a popular decision based off of what everyone else or the crowd is doing. Make a decision that's right for you. Ask the questions. If you've done it once, I'm going to tell you you can do it again. I was really scared that I would fail and that I'd make the biggest, worst decision of my life. And I haven't. Is it different than what I had? Yes, it is. Do I miss the people that I worked with? Absolutely. But I'm continuing those relationships. So don't let that be a deterrent. But I'm here to tell you, we are at the end of 2021. We've had a hell of 2 years. And if you are finding yourself stuck, spinning your wheels, burnt out, your business, now I'm not talking about 6 months, I'm not talking about a year, I'm not even talking about 2 years, but if your business, you've been doing the things, you've been trying, is steadily going like this over years and years, sis, I'm telling you that might be your feedback. You're not a failure. You're not a failure for making the best decision for you. You're not a failure for pivoting. You're not a failure for recognizing and being a really smart business person, knowing that businesses have to evolve. They have to change. They have to adapt with people. They have to be willing to grow with the trends. They have to be willing to up their technology and the way they're doing things and communicating and rewarding people. The old time days of flashy gifts and rah, this, and shout outs and celebrations on social. People don't give a shit. People that aren't in our line of work don't care if you got a promotion or those things. They don't care if you just got a purse by somebody. They don't care about that anymore. That is a long narrative a long time ago. And so we have got to show that this industry is much more than that. I am so passionate about this industry because of the lives that I've seen it change. Personally, and with so many other people. And this industry is so incredible. But it's incredible for those that take it seriously, that actually put in the work. You know, they always say a direct sales business is a marathon, not a sprint. And that is 100% true, right? Like, you can't expect fast, instant gratification aside of maybe the products. But you can. You're in it for the long haul. So if you have short-term goals, this probably isn't the right model for you. But if you have long-term goals and you're patient, you put in the work, you put in that silent work, right? Like, just like a farmer, he's putting in the seeds, he's watering it, he's fertilizing it, and he doesn't see his crop for months and months and months. That is what direct sales is. So it's very different than corporate America, where you're having those deals, those contract interactions with customers, and you sign it and seal it, and there you go. It's different. So you got to have patience. You have to have consistency, and you have to commit to it, not just for a month, not 2 months, whatever. And there's going to be ebbs and flows, and knowing that. But you also got to be willing to know when your ship has sailed, or when you've outgrown something, or when you recognize that you have actively worked on yourself so much that you are able to use those skills in another setting. I will no longer ever say I'm a lifer to anything. It was the most soul-crushing, almost death-feeling thing I experienced. Everything I had dreamed of and committed to, I was walking away from. And that can be soul-crushing. But I'm here to tell you I have a pulse. I'm happier than I've ever been. And my goal is to continue to empower women to follow your own heart. You're going to let people down, but that's with anything in life. You may lose supporters. People may scratch their head and going, what the heck is she doing? And that's okay. But the worst thing you can do is let yourself down and ignore your own joy and happiness. Because I will tell you, staying in something is a lot harder than walking away. And I've already told you, walking away was one of the hardest things I've done. So, if you love this industry and you believe in this industry, find a company that is evolving, is staying up with the times, is innovative, is supportive, is interactive with their team. Find something that's inclusive. I had no idea the team I would be joining was that inclusive. We don't have 5 billion team pages, no, because they recognize that as the teams were going to continue to build and build, those newbies would be joining 5 billion pages. No, we have 2 for everyone to have as their own. Talk about simple. A system. I never was used to a system. I didn't know what that meant. I thought that meant, 5 different things that if somebody did that, if you got a customer, you do this. Or if someone joined you, you do this. And this is how you train them. No. I input names. Training is sent. It's all automatic. Everything's done. There's no follow-ups, in terms of having to stay up on orders and accounts and things like that. I think what we need to recognize is simplicity is huge. And I am gravitating towards a simpler life every single day. And for me, my time is so precious. And my why of having that time and flexibility, I have a grandma that's been incredibly ill, in and out of the hospital and therapy rooms. And for me to go any day, just on the spur of the moment, where I need to be, taking her to a doctor's appointment, I needed that. But I couldn't do it fully with having so many hands in different pots. I was trying to do it all. And now it's done for me. And so simpler the better. And commission is different. When you have a company that doesn't pressurize you to build a team and you can get paid really, really well with just customers, that is important. Because if we're being realistic, 99%, I'll go down to 97.5% of people don't want to build a team. They don't want that kind of responsibility. That's not something they envisioned. They want a couple $100, or maybe they want a couple $1,000, and that's good. And that's okay. So when you can align yourself with a company that really caters towards loving everyone, paying everyone for their worth, not just if you build a team, not having that kind of pressure, is incredible. Because I know at the end of the day, I can truly help people in a way I never have been able to. And times change. Things change. And that's okay. Not saying anything about my prior past experiences. I am so grateful for it all because it's made me into the person I am today. But what I am here to say is I'm having a hard conversation, letting you know that if you are unhappy, you have given it and given it and given it. Your belief is tanking down. Don't give up on this industry. Don't. Because there's amazing companies out there and there's incredible, passionate leaders out there that are willing to show you another way. Just another option. So I'm losing all these comments. I love you guys so much. I'm so grateful for this community. I wouldn't be true to myself. And if I didn't give a thanks to my new sponsor, Kate Twig, thank you for answering all my questions when I was that crazy person that said, hey, I don't have 1 or 2 questions. I have a list of like 35. And you took an hour and a half out of your time to talk to this complete stranger that was watching you for a really long time to answer my questions. You didn't say you're going to be a perfect fit for this team. You didn't try to sell me on anything. You listened, you supported, and you've been I'm emotional. You've allowed me to grow at the pace that I wanted because you knew I was losing and leaving my family, my friends and my family, and I wasn't going to take them with me because I respect their businesses so much and what they have built. So thank you. Thank you to my 60 plus customers that have loved what I've been doing with this makeup. Thank you. I don't think I've had that kind of growth in customers for a really long time. So thank you. Thank you for showing up, and thank you for giving me the encouragement to keep learning how to do makeup, because let me tell you, I didn't know how before I joined this business, but it's that easy. I taught myself and I did a lot of videos. I want to thank the people that did not turn their back on me when I needed to make a decision for myself. And so I am sharing the same love for all of you. I want everyone to be successful and happy and thriving. Whether we're doing business together or not, I wish that upon everyone. These last 2 years have put so much into perspective. Life is short, and all I want is joy and love for all of you. But I don't want to see you unhappy. And I don't want to see you doing something because you think you have to, or that you can't do something again, or because the money's too good. The money was really good, but I'm happy. And that's priceless. So, wasn't expecting this. If you have questions, if you've been in a place of going, I am lost, and hopefully IG will not take that down for me cussing. I am an open book. No, I'm not going to tell you to join me. If you want to, my arms are wide open. I'm not going to convince you of certain things, but I will honor the space that you're in, because I needed that. I needed someone to honor the emotional roller coaster that I found myself in. I needed someone to continue to love me and believe in me. And that's all I want for all of you. So don't be afraid of the hard conversations. Ask yourself, how are you? Truly. How are you? That's all I got. Wishing you guys the best 2022. Always put yourself first. Self-love and self-care is something we all neglect. But if you can learn to put yourself first, you show up so differently for everyone around you. Much love to you all.